While wrapping up the day, unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with KAFTAN TV 7 p.m. news.
Good to have you join us on KAFTAN News at 7.
Nigeria are living in 5% are young people.
Foreign news headlines. Get balanced, accurate facts on the latest news in business, politics, entertainment, sports, and more. Live from our studios.
Many thanks for watching and join us again at 9
KAFTAN TV News. While wrapping up the day, unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with KAFTAN TV 7 p.m. news.
Good to have you join us on KAFTAN News at 7.
Nigeria are living in 5% are young people.
We propose the Harmony Symphony.
It's good to have you join us on KAFTAN TV News at 7.
We found that the 10 naira tax is not actually sufficient.
National, foreign news headlines. Get balanced, accurate facts on the latest news in business, politics, entertainment, sports, and more. Live from our studios.
Many thanks for watching and join us again at 9
KAFTAN
p.m.
TV News. While wrapping up the day, unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with KAFTAN TV 7 p.m. news.
Good to have you join us on KAFTAN News at 7.
Nigeria are living in 5% are young people.
We propose the Harmony Symphony.
It's good to have you join us on KAFTAN TV News at 7.
We found that the 10 naira tax is not actually sufficient.
National, foreign news headlines. Get balanced, accurate facts on the latest news in business, politics, entertainment, sports, and more. Live from our studios.
Many thanks for watching and join us again at 9
KAFTAN
p.m.
TV News.
My name is Sheilo BCFR, the Black Comedian of the Federal Republic. I tell you, when it comes to the best of entertainment, the best of news, the best of information, something that is educative, you're right here at the best place to see that. It's KAFTAN TV. Do you know what? Increase the volume. Keep watching. Don't touch the dial, okay?
It's your girl Nkechi Blessing Sunday. I want you all to keep watching KAFTAN TV.
Please keep watching KAFTAN TV.
Best of entertainment, the best of news, the best of information, something that is educative. You're right here at the best place to see that. It's KAFTAN TV. Do you know what? Increase the
Thinking of where to get the latest information and in-depth analysis on news, events, and trending stories around the Federal Capital Territory? Or do you need a medium to showcase those amazing brands, businesses, and events of yours? Seek no more.
So a beautiful community, a whole lot of posts and posts.
And we got you covered. Tune in to channel 124 on Startimes at 10 p.m. West African time on Tuesdays and Thursdays to be informed on policies, news, reports, events, and their effects on the Federal Capital Territory. Only on KAFTAN TV. KAFTAN TV. Imagine a beautiful world. Thinking of where to get the latest information and in-depth analysis on news, events, and trending stories around the Federal Capital Territory? Or do you need a medium to showcase those amazing brands, businesses, and events of yours? Seek no more.
So a beautiful community for a whole lot of posts and stuff.
And we got you covered. Tune in to channel 124 on Startimes at 10 p.m. West African time on Tuesdays and Thursdays to be informed on policies, news, reports, events, and their effects on the Federal Capital Territory. Only on KAFTAN TV. KAFTAN TV. Imagine a beautiful world. Thinking of where to get the latest information and in-depth analysis on news, events, and trending stories around the Federal Capital Territory? Or do you need a medium to showcase those amazing brands, businesses, and events of yours? Seek no more.
So a beautiful community for a whole lot of posts and stuff.
And we got you covered. Tune in to channel 124 on Startimes at 10 p.m. West African time on Tuesdays and Thursdays to be informed on policies, news, reports, events, and their effects on the Federal Capital Territory. Only on KAFTAN TV. KAFTAN TV. Imagine a beautiful world. Thinking of where to get the latest information and in-depth analysis on news, events, and trending stories around the Federal Capital Territory? Or do you need a medium to showcase those amazing brands, businesses, and events of yours? Seek no more.
So a beautiful community for a whole lot of posts and stuff.
And we got you covered. Tune in to channel 124 on Startimes at 10 p.m. West African time on Tuesdays and Thursdays to be informed on policies, news, reports, events, and their effects on the Federal Capital Territory. Only on KAFTAN TV. KAFTAN TV. Imagine a beautiful world. Thinking of where to get the latest information and in-depth analysis on news, events, and trending stories around the Federal Capital Territory? Or do you need a medium to showcase those amazing brands, businesses, and events of yours? Seek no more.
So a beautiful community for a whole lot of posts and stuff.
And we got you covered. Tune in to channel 124 on Startimes at 10 p.m. West African time on Tuesdays and Thursdays to be informed on policies, news, reports, events, and their effects on the Federal Capital Territory. Only on KAFTAN TV. KAFTAN TV. Imagine a beautiful world.
In the beginning,
We imagine a beautiful world.
we are not just bragging.
We blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At KAFTAN TV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
It's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
and around the world to create signal.
At KAFTAN Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
Wait, we're coming to you in style.
Here we are, starting from September.
Take a look at what the facts are.
And as you say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at KAFTAN Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
we blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At KAFTAN TV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
It's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
and around the world to create signal.
At KAFTAN Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
Wait, we're coming to you in style.
Here we are, starting from September.
Take a look at what the facts are.
And as you say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at KAFTAN Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
we blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At KAFTAN TV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
It's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
and around the world.
Welcome back, viewers, to the Polity. We're sorry for that break in transmission. We had some technical glitches to contend with, and we do hope that it's past now. And for the remaining few minutes, I still have Ambassador Chris Iyama of the CYPA Africa Center for Youth Participation, Dialogue, and Advocacy. Let's gradually, as we begin to close on this, so what's the way forward? What's the way forward? How are we going to bridge these gaps? What are the steps that we need to take or are being taken by groups like yours and so on to get to destination point?
Yeah, just a quick one. We have started the conversation for this Afro-democracy with this international conference on Africa's democracy, which we had the presence of His Excellency Prime Minister Raila Odinga, Professor Patrick Lumumba, right. Ambassador Arekana. These are Pan-African people. Right. And then we also had Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps the other day with us, and we are stepping it for regional conversation. Right. Where African Union will be involved, ECOWAS will be involved. Yeah. And the whole idea is to ensure that we build a system that is working for African people. It is not just African concept of governance, it's about African system of doing business as well. For instance, from Lagos to Cameroon, I pay 1.8 million naira on a return ticket for 1 hour 15 minutes flight. Whereas with about less than $500, you can network a lot of countries in Europe. Why the trade barrier? I am coming from, this is Nigeria. For me to go to South Africa, I need to submit my passport to their embassy, and the passport can be delayed for as much as 2 months while they are still processing my visa. Whereas a Canadian can get into South Africa visa-free. What is the challenge? Why are we creating these boundaries for ourselves? What's happening with the AFTA agreement? Why are we not talking about it? So
you're also looking at seamless integration?
Yes, seamless integration amongst the African people so that they can do trade, so that they can relate together. What's happening with the African immigration system? Do we need visas to travel for a journey of just about 1 hour 15 minutes in your in the African space? So that is what we are talking about. It's not just, you see, when we say this, a lot of more things are coming up. And those are the issues that we are trying to solve. Until we solve these economic barriers, you know, until we solve these economic barriers, I don't think that we're going to have a proper governance system in Africa. And those are the conversations we're having.
Wow. Well, what's the next major thing on your agenda right now?
Yes, in the next 2 weeks, we'll be in Nairobi, and then we're meeting with some people in African Union and some the Eastern African bloc. You know, for us to begin. If you notice, in Kenya, when the president was elected, the first thing he started doing was to remove the visa blocks in terms of connecting and all that. And so, at the moment, if you want to go to Kenya, you really do not need a visa. However, you're going to do some form of, they still call it visa and all that, but it's seamless now. So, we want African leaders to begin to toe this part. You understand? So, that conversation with the Eastern African bloc is going to do a whole lot of things, and then we move to South Africa. At the end of the day, if we can just change a little, we are changing much, but it starts home.
Yeah, but just this last one.
Yeah.
Now, if you say that these constraints are still very huge, are we saying that the impact of AfCFTA is not there? The African Continental Trade
the agreement. The truth of the matter is some countries are not honoring the agreement.
So should it be that this should be, so what conversation, what steps, is it to support that agreement?
It's to support the agreement. You see, African ministers of trade and economy should begin to come together. A lot of times in this conference, we wrote several letters to bring them together so that we can iron out issues, we can discuss. Citizens of Africa would know what is happening, but at the end of the day, about 2 or 3 of them came. And the 2 or 3 of them that came are making significant effort in solving those challenges. What happens to the rest? So it's not about going to African Union year in, year out. You sign agreement and you're not keeping up to the agreement. The trade issues are still remaining. The governance system is still poor. The borders are still terrible and all that. At the end of the day, it's nothing but a talk shop. We are saying, let's move from talk shop to work in the action. That's about it.
All right, then. I guess this is where we'll leave it off. I've been talking with Chris Iyama of CYPA Africa. And CYPA Africa is a Center for Youth Participation, Dialogue, and Advocacy. And he's also with Equity International. And he's the team lead for the International Conference on African Democracy, right? That's going on, that's been on in the last few days. ICAD 2025. Once again, let me say welcome and thank you for coming, Iyama.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so very much. We do hope that on several other occasions, particularly when we have things that have to do with youth, you would be available to on us.
Thank you.
All right. That's the size of this first segment. And after this, after the break, I'll be right back with the other guests on the other topic. Thank you.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at KAFTAN Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
we blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At KAFTAN TV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
It's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
and around the world to create signal.
At KAFTAN Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
Wait, we're coming to you in style.
Here we are, starting from September.
Look at what the facts are.
And as you say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world.
While wrapping up the day, unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with KAFTAN TV 7 p.m. news.
Good to have you join us on KAFTAN News at 7.
Nigerians are living in up to 5%. Are young people we propose the Harmony Symphony.
It's good to have you join us on KAFTAN TV News at 7.
What we found is that this 10 naira tax is not actually sufficient.
National foreign news headlines. Get balanced, accurate facts on the latest news in business, politics, entertainment, sports, and more. Live from our studios.
Many thanks for watching. Join us again at 9
KAFTAN TV News.
When we say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world, we're not just bragging. We know our onions in the world of broadcasting. One of our outlets to express ourselves to the world is our flagship program, Matters Arising. Join veteran broadcaster Ruben Okala and our crack team live.
And they give us a high price, and we just say, Nigeria, we ready?
As I said earlier, the lyrics is up, talking about the old new national.
On KAFTAN TV, Startimes channel 480 and 124, as well as NIGCOMSAT frequency 12518, symbol rate 29500.
Monday to Friday
at 8 p.m. live. You can join the conversation by calling this phone number 0802 993 8365. It's dramatic and insightful. Don't miss it. Please join us. When we say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world, we're not just bragging. We know our onions in the world of broadcasting. One of our outlets to express ourselves to the world is our flagship program, Matters Arising. Join veteran broadcaster Ruben Okala and our crack team live.
And they give us a high price, and we just say, Nigeria, we ready?
As I said earlier, the lyrics is up, talking about the old new national.
On KAFTAN TV, Startimes channel 480 and 124, as well as NIGCOMSAT frequency 12518, symbol rate 29500.
Monday to Friday
at 8 p.m. live. You can join the conversation by calling this phone number 0802 993 8365. It's dramatic and insightful. Don't miss it. Please join us.
Imagine a beautiful world. That's our slogan at KAFTAN TV. Hello there. I am Ruben Okala.
Hello, I'm glad to have you join us again on the news of the hour, reaching you live from our studio in the nation's capital.
And that has been the news. Many thanks for watching. My name is Fatima Abbas Hassan. I'm the Cutting Baba today.
I am pleased, Umaya. The politics of Lagos State is still very much in the hands of the leaders.
My name is Dayo Omogun. I've not done a change of name.
Adebayo Film and Theatre Arts Network.
We always dish out beautiful materials.
My name is Sheilo BCFR, the Black Comedian of the Federal Republic. I tell you, when it comes to the best of entertainment, the best of news, the best of information, something that is educative, you're right here at the best place to see that. It's KAFTAN TV. You know what? Increase the volume. Keep watching. Don't touch the dial, okay?
It's your girl Nkechi Blessing Sunday. I want you all to keep watching KAFTAN TV.
Please keep watching KAFTAN TV. It is the best civil station in the country. They're doing an amazing job. Please do not touch the dial. Keep watching. Thank you.
My name is Sheilo BCFR, the Black Comedian of the Federal Republic. I tell you, when it comes to the best of entertainment, the best of news, the best of information, something that is educative, you're right here at the best.
All right, welcome back to the second segment of the Polity on this edition. And quickly, because we have little or no time, my name is Dayo Omogwa. My guest today is Professor Ken Ife. Many of you are getting very accustomed to him now. He comes with like the lordship of a professor. I mean, whatever he says, you can go check it out. You can fact check it, and you will find most of the time that there is really there's no contradiction. And so he comes with that authority. You're welcome, Prof.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Good to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Honestly, you have become our in-house prof. You can become.
I started with you from the beginning, this station.
Right. Okay, so now we really want to take a look at the MPC meeting yesterday, 2 days ago. That was Monday, Tuesday. We find the reports coming out say that all the parameters were held constant. And so one is wondering, first of all, when you come in, I like you to make it, maybe because you're a prof, I tend to turn this place into a class when you are here. So within this period, people will need to know what are these parameters. What exactly is MPR? What is asymmetric corridor? What is a cash reserve ratio? What is liquid ratio? Because if they don't have such an understanding, and you say you have held something constant, it doesn't make sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so maybe we'll start by saying, what are these parameters?
Okay, first of all, let's start from central bank. Central bank is the monetary authority for the country.
Yes.
And they are exclusively in charge of monetary policy.
There
are other policies.
Sure, yes.
For example, you have fiscal policies.
Yeah.
Minister of Finance leads on that, but not by any means the only one in there. Then you have trade policy, which is under the Minister for Trade and Industry. Then you also have industrial policy. Then you have investment policy. And so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So they all come together under what you call macroeconomic. Now, the central bank's role, the mandate for central bank are twofold. Core mandates. Mandate number one is to maintain financial system stability.
Right.
Now, that financial system stability is that it licenses banks, financial institutions, development banks, microfinance banks, but it has to make sure that there are parameters that make sure that their health is constantly monitored and maintained.
Right.
And they also, some of those parameters are the ones we are going to look at, because they want to make sure that if you have a run on a bank, the bank doesn't collapse. And lose depositors' money. And there is NDIC, which ensures 50% of your deposit with the banks.
Right.
But the central bank doesn't want you to even lose a penny of your money. That's why they breathe down the neck of the financial institutions.
Right.
The second mandate of the commercial bank is what they call
of the
price
of the
control,
central bank.
price stability.
Of central bank.
Of central bank.
Because
yes,
you just said commercial bank.
Oh, sorry, central bank is price stability. And price involves quite a few things, not just. So the first one that they talked about during their monetary policy committee meeting is the monetary policy rate.
Right.
MPR.
MPR.
Now that monetary policy rate is the base rate. That is the rate at which bank lends money to commercial banks. Because they come overnight. They come when they have shortage, they run to the bank, send to CBN to take money. Okay. And there's a rate at which they lend money to them. Okay. So if they come and borrow from central bank and they are going to lend to you, they have to put a margin on it. So that's why when central bank is charging them 27.5%, some banks may put 10% and charge you to 37%. Some may put 6% and charge you to. So that is it. But they will not normally lend you below what they have, what they are going to be exposed to, unless they have a special program. Sometimes there is, intervention, special intervention programs. So now, the other parameter is a cash reserve ratio. I think I will come to that, but let me talk a bit more on the monetary policy rate, because the monetary policy rate is sensitive to quite a few things in the economy. It's looking at money supply. If there's too much money in circulation, it wants to deny the banks, suck it away. Yeah. They use instruments like open market operation to buy those cash from the banks. Right. They don't like private sector getting in that business to suck away their liquidity. But they also use that monetary policy rate to restrain the banks from lending. It's not that they don't want to lend, but unfortunately, when the banks lend, when you sit in a board of a bank or you ask them to give you the ages and breakdown of their loans, what you're going to find is that you'll be looking for 10-year loan, you won't find. You for 5-year loan, 2-year loan, 1 year. What you find is most of the money will be in 3 months to 6 months, and the traders that are taking this money to import, and they pass through, inflation pass through, and they make quick money. That's it. And they don't care about those rates. But the guy who is manufacturing, he will not take 3 months money or 1 month for manufacturing. When is he going to build the factory, buy the equipment, order it? So they can't afford to pay that 27, that 30-something percent. So what the bank tries to do is to moderate. But then there also the other things bank is looking at, because for example, they will look at whether there is a real interest, positive interest rate or negative real interest rate. Normally, we need to be at positive real interest rate. That is, the 27.5 monetary policy rate should be below the inflation, above the inflation, because the inflation, if you borrow money at that rate, and then when you want to cash it after 12 months, and inflation is much, much higher, you've devalued, your money has lost value. Right. Yeah, so they always want it to sit on top of inflation. Before, inflation was 30-something%. Right. So it was a huge reach of concern. So it kept on going up to hope that it will meet inflation. Inflation will come down and meet it somewhere. Yeah. And after inflection, then there will be more comfort. And that's why they stopped raising. Right. They stopped raising because the inflation has, by rebasing, they say it has come down from 35 to 24.
When you say this.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's another story to look into. So that's why they are keeping it there. But they're still watching the environment. Now, the second reason why they will need to be keeping it up is because you want to attract foreign portfolio investors. Now, foreign portfolio investors, we call it hot money. They will come to buy treasury bill, to buy bond. That they borrow money from UK or US at 3% or 4%, and they will run in here to buy securities at 20%. They're making some big margin. Then, provided the exchange rate does not drop.
I was going to ask me.
Yeah.
Because
if
the
fear
is denominated
that the exchange
currency
rate is going to drop, they'll take their money away. Right. And they'll run back to safety. And where is safety? American Federal Reserve. That's where they run back to. Because they know that their money will always give them whatever it is that they, because America never pays their debt. They will only print more dollars. So that is safety. So that's the sovereign guarantee in America. So that's the thing. So it kept on attracting. And if you look at foreign portfolio investment, it increased from 70 to 80% in the last 2 years. It went up really high. But the other one that it couldn't attract is the foreign direct investment. Because foreign direct investment is such a nuisance in the sense that it's so shy. It's looking at your market condition. Oh, you have insecurity. Why do I want to put my money? Building a factory that will be for 20 years when there is insecurity. Oh, power is costing 70% of the input cost. And then the water is not there, road is not there. You're going to borrow money to build roads. So they look at all of that. A high transportation costs, so they don't come. They go to areas where you have stable infrastructure and lower cost of production and all that stuff. So that's why we are struggling with foreign direct investment. Then the people wanted them to, I will come to the debate, but then let's look at the cash reserve ratio. Now, if you carry money, if you put 100,000 naira today to a bank, the cash reserve ratio is 50%. That 100,000 you have dropped, the central bank will suck away 50,000 naira of that 100,000 naira.
Immediately?
50%, yes.
Immediately?
It will sanitize this money and keep it in its vault. It doesn't earn interest for the commercial bank. It sits there. So it's part of the protection that they have for your money.
Right.
Then the second thing is, the third one is the liquidity ratio. Out of that 100,000, 50 has gone away.
Yes.
30% of it, which is 330,000, will be retained by the bank. And when the inspectors come for banking supervision every month, they want to see that money is still there. Because that liquidity is what says that the bank is liquid. So if you suddenly come to the bank and say you want 40,000 naira of your money, they cannot panic because they are supposed to have 30 sitting there.
And then they can take 10 elsewhere.
So that's the thing. So in effect, the banks actually have only 20% to play with. And that's part of the reason why their interest rates have to be high. Right. Because that interest rate is covering what they would have made if they used their deposit. That's your cash reserve ratio. If they use this one, if they had put that money out to attract your investment, they would have made money. So that's one of the reasons why their rates are quite high. So what happened that the liquidity ratio is 30%, the cash reserve ratio is 50%. It used to be 30. It used to be less. But it's also part of this whole sucking away money from the system and holding back. And banks are recapitalizing now. And people are buying their shares, and all these money as they come in, they suck them away. You know, so that's it.
All right, this is remaining just one that you didn't touch. What does it mean when you talk about asymmetric corridor? Oh,
okay. Within the cash reserve ratio, because remember, it is what the bank plays with when it is selling to commercial bank, when they're coming to borrow money from them and all of that. So there's a window which is called asymmetric corridor. It could be symmetric if it is plus minus 10. Plus 10 minus 10 is symmetric. But asymmetric is when one is lower than the other. Right. Because this one means is 27.5. Yes. It can actually go up to 37.5, that is plus 10. And then it could go down to 26.5, which is minus 100.
So it's
you understand? It's just a window, yes.
Okay. Between the central bank.
That's right. So when I was advising central bank and all the people last week, I said people should not stampede central bank into forcing to bring down rates. And I said to central bank, if you are minded to reduce, just go and tinker with asymmetric corridor.
That's it.
Reduce it or whatever, but leave that rate where it is. I can't see any reason, because there hasn't been any significant change in macroeconomic conditions. And then also the rebasing that we thought was going to create magic, it didn't. You know, I mean, you saw the rebasing figure. Yes, there was a movement from the year 2010 to year 2019, and those figures moved up. But when you look at the GDP figure for first quarter of this year, it was a meltdown, complete meltdown. Agriculture 0.07%.
But then
that shows zero growth.
Talking about economic resilience and
all the resilience. I'm telling you about what figures we have. First quarter of 2024 GDP, agriculture did 0.07% growth, when population is 22.8% and urbanization rate is 4.6%. People are going to starve. But that's what that thing says. That's the lowest I have seen in living memory of a growth in agriculture. So, but the base to 2020, that base is they're telling different stories. I'm talking about actual growth rate for this first quarter. And inflation You say inflation is coming down. Yes, relative to last year, forgetting that it was rebased. But when you look at month-to-month inflation, it's increasing. The food basket sub index is increasing. The CPI for the month is increasing.
No.
So I said the CBN cannot do anything, leave it, because they are not seeing any window.
No,
If it
is so, Prof, couldn't some of those parameters have changed this way or that way to further tackle? Because if the conditions have not improved, isn't there something more drastic that could have been done?
I don't think we are on the same page, because the GDP rebasing deals with the classifications of the things that you measure, how they have been reclassified, and how more things have come in. For example, pension fund was not being captured. 20 trillion naira pension fund. National Insurance Trust Fund, National Security Insurance Trust Fund, big money. This is where all their contributions go to. Then you have the modular refineries. I think 3 of them are on stream. You have household consumption that goes to employment. That is your employment of your cook and steward and gardener and all of that. That doesn't get picked. They're now picked and enter into the calculus. Okay. And then you have other things. So all of those things that we are actually, and even digital technology, there are some digital things that we are not properly picked. And don't forget, you have 6 unicorns in Nigeria right now that are worth billions of dollars, homegrown companies. And then you have fintech, adtech, edtech, health tech, envirotech, all kinds of technology things are hitting the ground. And they're all businesses. Right. So we're capturing them. So what you're saying that having captured all of those, what it should have been in 2019 is 213 billion rather than 108. Do you understand? That's what it should have been. And even 2024, what it should have been in 2024 is 372 billion trillion naira instead of 200 and something. Do you understand?
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So, but then after all that stuff, so all those things showed increase, overall increase based from 2010, around 2010, the overall increase before 2010 was 59%. From 2010 to 2019, the increase was 41%. So that 41% was distributed so that you can see which sector brought increase. But that's a matter of the past. What we're talking about is this first quarter. What's happened? You have 3.4 something percent for industry. In fact, the industry has even gone down in their contribution to GDP. Now you have agriculture go up from 21 to 22 to 25 in terms of the contribution of it to GDP. But the rate of growth is 0, is flat. That is the point. I don't know if I make sense. But
no, but see, I'm saying...
Because I've had people, even I was in NTA this morning.
Yeah.
I've been in so many TV stations trying to explain all this thing. And then they will even take me to Vision 2030 that you get $1 trillion GDP.
Economy.
I talk about that as well. We're not measuring like with like. You know, there's so much confusion out there.
No, let me ask. This is the 3rd consecutive time or 4th that these same parameters have been held, right?
Okay.
Yes, that these parameters have been held.
In 7 times.
Consecutively.
Yeah. And they can go to 15 times.
That it has
if the conditions are not right.
7.
Yeah, they've been maintaining it 7 consecutive times. But the fact of the matter is that they can go ahead and do it for 15 times, as long as the parameters have not been met. If the parameters, macroeconomic parameters are met, then they could now shift base. You see, what you don't want the central bank to do is to quickly run on sentiment and reduce it by 1%, and then tomorrow, suddenly.
Sorry.
Why? There's still global macroeconomic headwinds have not subsided. Donald Trump has increased his tax to Nigeria from 14 to 24, adding only 10% because of BRICS. And now he says he's going to increase it to 50% for BRICS. So we are going to get 64% tax on duty. And then there are many other things going on. Oil price is coming down. If you have a benchmark of $75 when you are getting things sold at $65, what do you think that means? It means that the budget, you have budget crisis.
Challenged, yeah.
Yeah, and then you of course, you are increasing your production volume, but it seems to now be exceeding OPEC quota.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do about that? Do you understand? The NNPC that should concentrate in building strategic reserves so that any excess production goes in there, and when things are bad for us, you bring it out. Modular refiners can go there and get crude. They are busy gallivanting, telling us other things, doing what they shouldn't be doing. So the jury is out on that side. Then you come to domestic, you see inflation hasn't, in fact, why the budget spend, capital budget spend for 2024 is extended to December 2025. You haven't started spending capital budget for 2025.
Even as of now.
I'm telling you, you are still spending 2024. You understand? And then you now have people who constructed the budget that went and put benchmark of $75. And why? Why? It's an exercise in futility. Because you are actually playing against, you are crowding out what would have gone to capital expenditure. See, if you have a bogus number, knowing that you will never reach that number, you are moving it. You are moving it because you want to get out all the cash that will come, and the capital won't get anything. What are the priority? Priority number one, first line charge on debt service. So money coming in must go for debt service.
Yes.
That service is over 70 to 80% of the whole money coming in. All right. Now, two, salaries. You have to pay staff salaries. You have to pay pension. If you don't pay them, you have trouble. Then you have to give military defense for them to continue to defend.
Yes.
Then by the time you do that, and then maybe some monies that are used for other recurrent expenditure, there's nothing for capital. So by December, you've got 100% spent on recurrent expenditure. But then for capital, maybe 20%, something like that, nothing.
That's what happened.
So you keep on pushing capital, pushing capital. But if your budget was realistic in the first place,
from the very beginning,
and instead of having 75, you use 65, you achieve two things. If the price of crude goes above 65, it moves into excess crude account. From excess crude account, there could be accretion to our foreign reserves, okay, to help us defend the naira. But that's not the case. Then if it is there at 65, everybody gets their own share of the budget money. But they won't. Now, what you now do, because you have large deficit, you rush to borrow. And as you borrow more, your debt service goes up. It doesn't stay there, it goes up. So the bank is monitoring all this. And then even the thing you are borrowing, $21.5 billion, 15 billion yen, all those money are cash coming in and are going into circulation. But because you are going to use it to pay people.
There's so much campaign.
So inflation is still coming.
There's so much campaign from the government side saying there's no such borrowing as 21.5.
Didn't you hear that it has been approved by the National Assembly a few days ago?
So why defend the indefensible? Why keep telling the people that there's no such thing, that it's just MTF is the medium-term economic framework or whatever, that you have access, you can borrow as much as this, but it has not been borrowed. It has not been. That's what I find from people who are apparently trying to work for government.
I know a lot about fiscal strategy paper. I know a lot about the medium-term expenditure framework because I train officers of DMO, Ministry of Finance, Accountant General's Office, Fiscal Responsibility Commission, and the state governments and local. I train them.
So I'm saying, Prof, what's the need of trying to play around that? Why not own up and say, okay, but see the steps we've put in place to ensure that this does not backfire? Maybe something like that.
If you're talking about steps, let me tell you what the steps are. We have a fiscal law in this country called Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007.
Yes.
That is the law that governs borrowing. Because first of all, borrowing is on the exclusive legislative list. It's federal government. If state government wants to borrow, they have to come to federal government for approval and all that stuff. So it's highly regulated. But the law that guides it is that FRA. That FRA 2007 tells you how you have to conduct fiscal strategy paper, to talk about your forecasting and then all the fundamentals that we are going to use to construct the budget. And then in the construction of the budget, all kinds of consultations that have to take place with the various stakeholders, and then of course including the assembly. Then you do the budget, and the budget is done on a 3-year rolling plan. It's called medium-term expenditure framework.
Right.
You look at 3 years, and this is year 0, and then year 2 and 3, and then the last year behind, you do performance measurements of how you have performed. Then now you come to what you cannot budget, what you haven't got money for, you go to borrow for. Then it tells you what the law comes about borrowing. The law says you can borrow, provided there are certain conditions that have to be met. Condition number 1, you have to borrow for capital expenditure or for human resource development.
Okay.
And then human resource development is very clear: health, education, enterprise, and employment. You don't borrow for poverty reduction to go and share. You don't do that. That law doesn't allow that. You can get your IGR or get some grant from World Bank and other and then share it to people. The law doesn't care. You can do that. Now, but it says borrowing has to be for long term. And the long term we always understand to be 10 to 30 years sort of thing, longer term frame. Then it has to be for concessionary rates, which is usually around 3 or less percent, concessionary rates, not 10%, not 9%. No, the law doesn't support that. Then it says, but in any case, there must be cost-benefit analysis for anything you want to borrow. Now, let me tell you why the law requires that. The law wants, in the construction of the law, they want to see the capacity for this borrowing to repay itself.
Right.
So, and when you come to capital expenditure, there are 2 forms of capital expenditure. You have infrastructure, which is ICT, broadband, other stuff, base stations, and then rail, highway, rail, waterway, aviation. What are infrastructure? Then, and power, of course. Then you have the productive capacity, when you are investing in productive capacity, like when NNPC came and took 3.5 billion that are going to repair their refinery, but on the basis that it will be able to regenerate the money. So in the construction of the law, when you are going on infrastructure, the law expects you in your cost-benefit analysis to anticipate how that infrastructure can go through economic corridors, industrial corridor, commercial corridor, residential corridor, so that there is going to be usage of the infrastructure and then to generate resources to maintain the infrastructure. So if you call in a PPP to maintain this highway, people are flying the highway because there are industries here and there. You know, so if you have that kind of thing. But if you don't have this analysis done, then you are lacking transparency and they are lacking accountability. And so that is the problem. For over 10 years, I've been asking them, I want to see that. I want to see that. I haven't seen anything. Because, it's shrouded in secrecy. So, and even when the administration came in, the Minister of Finance said within 1 or 2 months that he must make sure that there is cost-benefit analysis on any borrowing. He said it and I jubilated, but that was all.
That was it.
I didn't see anymore. But anyway, not to worry. But there is something funny. The law actually did 2 things. The law did what we call ouster of locus standi. It says any Nigerian citizen has the power to go to the court, high court, and ask for a prerogative of, that is to enforce the law. So you don't need to show that you have any interest in the particular activity. You just local standard is without having to prove local standard.
Right.
So anybody can go to court. But then that then brings another problem. When you go to court, what is court going to do? Court is going to say, okay, that's the law. Yeah, there's an infringement of the law, but there's no penalty.
How can that be?
I'm telling you.
How can that be?
There's no penalty and there's no imprisonment term.
Not in
It's not there. So wedding officers will just write a report, that this snake swallowed this amount of money and all of that, and they send it to Attorney General and it will sit in the office somewhere hidden in one gathering dust. And that's how it goes. But if you look at the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission Act that has just been passed, they have some of it there. The one that has been proposed for amendment for over 5 years now, Senate haven't passed it. Because they know when 2 or 3 civil or public servants go to jail because of it, because what was on the amendment is any infringement, you will pay 1 million fine, then you go to jail for 1 year. It didn't say or. No, you will and both. Okay. And then 3 or 4 people go in there. They won't want to do it again. And people will just walk away, leave government money alone and find other things to do. That's what will happen. But we don't have the political courage to do that for right now. But we do have political courage that has been expressed in all other areas like subsidy removal, this enforcement of PIA. But that one, you are spending hundreds of billions of naira fighting corruption when the law there that says you cannot touch 1 naira of government money is left in the bank. And then finally, that law also says any financial institution that lends money outside this framework of this law is unlawful.
Yet we have such cases.
That this is in the law. It says it's unlawful. So when the chiefs are down on the judgment day, some of those people who lend that money without regard to that law will be crying.
When will this judgment day be?
There was a judgment day in 2012, in 2005, when we were asking for debts for forgiveness. That was a judgment day because I wrote a petition to Minister Tony Blair. I wrote a petition to him. Why will you forgive debt of 18 African countries and then you don't include Nigeria? That I'm challenging you to find out, open the corporate veil, said that World Bank have been issuing contracts, and I mentioned the governor that claimed $68 million for building a road in Ekulobia, and then the hospital, there's no hospital, there's no road, but the money has been claimed. I wrote it in the petition. And then I ended in that petition by saying, forgive those debts, but make sure Nigeria uses that money to meet Millennium Development Goal. That was accepted. So there is a judgment day. Time comes when it comes.
Well, and so what's our situation, Prof? Aren't we already in that dreaded death trap that some predictors have talked about? Is this not a death trap?
The thing is that those GDP discussions, they are very academic in any case anyway. Yeah. Because GDP doesn't pay your debt.
Exactly.
GDP doesn't put food on your table.
That's what the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry has said. That
it's money, it's number.
It doesn't
so what is important is, and then debt to GDP ratio, they don't pay any bill. What pays the bill, how much money has government brought in, and how much debt is going to be paid by that money. That's what is important. And then when you go to the area of the GDP that measures the rate of growth, and then you see that agriculture has melted down completely, then there is panic.
There's a problem.
Because you can link that to the rising poverty rates, to the rising multidimensional poverty.
True.
So there's a link. There's a link there. So if you are talking about how government can constructively deal with this, then you're talking about what you call inclusive growth. Because you can have a paper growth, which is what you are seeing, that doesn't put food on the table. Yeah. You have to have a more diversified economy and then have more inclusive growth. It is an inclusive growth that engages more and more millions of people in an activities that will help their survival. I want to give you an example. There are 42 million MSMEs in Nigeria, compared to 90 million in Africa. So Nigeria has 48% of Africa
50%.
MSMEs.
Yes, almost 50%.
Our population is 18% of Africa population. Our GDP is around 18%, not even up to 18. But then, there is now this statistics that say that entrepreneurship is 3 times more than those. So entrepreneurship is a latent comparative advantage for Nigeria. Now, let me tell you what it means in terms of policy. If you want to create 42 million jobs today, then government should talk to the industry and say, look, what is it that we can give to you, do with you, so that every one of you will create one job. 42 million companies will create one job, and you have 42 million people in
42
employment.
million out of unemployment. Yeah.
Why this is important is because those monies that we are sharing out, bring some of the money for the training, and tell these companies, if you employ somebody and keep him in job for 1 year and be training the person, we will give you extra amount of money. If you are going to pay them salary, we'll subsidize your salary, maybe we'll contribute 10% of that salary. So what you are doing is that you are actually taking, the training should be in the workplace, where people learn the skills, so that they can start their own business. They can be productively employed in engineering or technical or whatever inside the workplace. That's how you achieve that transformation, because what we inherited as colonial heritage is build schools. We have millions of schools, but if you go to area like Germany or that, they say build skills. That's what they have. What we have are schools. We don't have skills. Skills come from private sector. So if you have 42 million private sector, it means get them to take these people, do whatever they do with them, employ them, then you give them some of these things you are sharing out to people, what this are that, share it out to them, they will employ the people. Unemployment will vamoose. And then agriculture is a different story. Because that's then another type of prescription.
All right, now, what's the outlook? What's the outlook in the next meeting will be in about 2 months' time or so. What do you think?
We'll have to see, because we still don't. Donald Trump still have more things up his sleeves. We don't know.
That could be destabilizing.
We don't know. Middle East crisis is just on hold. We don't know. And Russia and Ukraine, they haven't sorted it out yet.
Right.
Again, we don't know. But what we do know is that Nigeria should be talking to China. China has $25 billion trade with us. We should try and, have more parity.
Are we not going to incur the wrath of America the more?
Which one is there? Which one be their business? The other one is that we have currency swap with China, 2 billion, increase that to 10 billion, for goodness sake, and overroll it. Number 3, we have Africa Continental Free Trade. I still reckon that 80% of whatever any country in Africa wants to import can be sourced from somewhere in Africa. And if you can source them, then what do you need dollar for? Because we have Africa Continental Free Trade currency called PAPS, Pan-Africa Payment and Settlement System, that says if I want to buy something from South Africa, just raise your paper and then pay in Naira, they will receive it in Rand. And if they want to buy in Nigeria, they pay their dollar, their Rand, and will receive it in the same with cedis in Ghana. You don't need to move any money, you don't need to bring dollar. Just go to your bank and then open the credit and then pay. Finish. So that dollar thing that cost us 20%. Do you know what happens? When you tell a company in China to quote for you for the equipment, they will quote for you and then they put 10% or more, because they don't know what will happen to the value of dollar by the time they ship. And then you yourself, when you are also doing the same, you do the same. And then you're going to buy dollar, you're going to lose money. They want to get the dollar, they will lose money to change to yuan, and you cut all that off. 20% is cut off. So all this whole thing is only when we begin to patronize ourselves by deepening the intra-regional trade that we will now create more employment for our people. At the moment, our economies are import dependent. When we are import dependent, it gives me headache. Listen, listen. Nigeria.
Prof, we're going to have to do that in less than 1 minute.
Maybe another meeting.
No. Let's see if we can do 30 seconds.
Okay. Import dependent. We just passed a bill in the House, which waiting our assent, that we say raw material South Council. Any raw material living in Nigeria must have 30% value addition.
Exactly.
Because as soon as you add value by 10%, the price doubles.
Yeah, exactly.
You add 30%, the price becomes only 300% more that you can get. So the more you add value, the more money you can get. And you create jobs where you are adding this value. What did Ghana do? Ghana clamped down on their gold so that they can grab that and then go to the central bank to reserves. Suddenly, Ghana's currency cedis have revalued about 50%, gone up. The last administration of the Buhari, they were, I think, about 500 billion or so was spent trying to buy from Zamfara and all that to go. We wanted to continue that. If we had continued that, we would have had a lot of gold in our reserves, and our money wouldn't be shaken up the way it's shaken up. Do you understand?
Yes.
You have the resources, but you are not using them to strengthen your economy. That's the challenge.
This is really
sad. But now you are having lithium in Nasarawa. You will see the difference that lithium will make to our foreign reserves. You know.
We don't have the time, dear viewers. We'll just have to put an end to this session again. But I hope that you have had some education, some real hard stuff, because exactly this is what we need to know to be able to navigate this economy. We need economic information to be able to navigate this economy. Else, I don't know. Once again, I'll say thank you, Prof.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you for all the contributions you are making to help Nigeria move forward. We do hope that by and by, that things will get better. Thank you very much, dear viewers. This is where we bring the program to an end. I must not forget to say thank you to my wonderful production team and to you viewers who make this program what it is. Thank you so very much. It's bye for now from Dayo Omogo.
While wrapping up the day, unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with KAFTAN TV 7 p.m. news.
Good to have you join us on KAFTAN News at 7.
Nigerians are living in up to 5%. Are young people who propose the Harmony Symphony.
It's good to have you join us on KAFTAN TV News at 7.
What we found is that this 10 naira tax is not actually sufficient.
National foreign news headlines. Get balanced, accurate facts on the latest news in business, politics, entertainment, sports, and more. Live from our studios.
Many thanks for watching and join us again at 9
KAFTAN TV News. While wrapping up the day, unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with KAFTAN TV 7 p.m. news.
Good to have you join us